Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist, and I'm creating a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video 169 of 365. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're old here, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have all of you here. Thank you for watching me and my rants and rambles every day. I'm gonna try to shorten these videos just a little bit. They're getting too rambly, even for me. Like, they're getting a little too rambly. So I'm gonna kind of be concise. A little bit more. That's my goal. And I've been saying that for a couple days, but I ended up talking for, I don't know why the words come out. I don't know. It's just me. I'm rambling. So, and I know some of you have said you like my rambles and love them sometimes. So thank you. I appreciate that so much. So I will ramble some other time. We'll do some more rambles. I'll just call them rants and rambles, I guess, for fun. But today I want to talk about, I just yelled really loud. I hope that wasn't loud in your ear. Oh my. I'm going to stay on track just a little bit. A lot happened today. I had a great EMDR session with a client. It was awesome. And this gave me the idea for the video today a bit. You want to remember to never look outside of you for your power. Your power is within. And we talked about power, how sometimes it can be a negative thing. And I said, well, if you look at power as a negative thing and you're defining it as such, then it will be a negative thing. But if we look at it as it's gentle, its manifestation is just, it takes the gentlest touch to manifest things. It isn't like by force or fire. We don't have to do really anything. It's just a slight shift in consciousness. Always remember that. It's a slight shift in consciousness. A slight shift in awareness, which is very gentle. It's very gentle. We just need to be gentle with ourselves. So I've always told clients back in the day to pretend like you're a 3-month-old, or pretend like the person you're having a problem with, if you're having an issue with someone, is pretend like they're like a 3-month-old baby and have compassion for them and that. But then today we went more into pretend like you are a 3-month-old baby. And you just were birthed, even if you want to. You're a day old, and you have no idea what's going on around you. There's no meanings that have been made yet. There's no definitions that you've assigned to things. Everything is just neutral. There's nothing to really worry about. And as you learn to open your eyes and look around, and your vision becomes more clear, you have more clarity. And if you just stay in that state of wonderment, and just imagine what that would be like, just to stay there for a little while in like a childish wonder that we used to have before the world programmed us, and before we gave our power away. Like visualize your power as like this ball that you have, and you're just like throwing this ball to somebody, giving them your power a lot of the time. And really take that in, because we do that all the time. We give our power away to the traffic. We give our power away to cashiers. We give our power away to doctors and lawyers and children even, and in-laws. And we just give our power away to everybody. Everybody. Even a medicine bottle you're having trouble opening. It's crazy. We do this all the time. And that's just being human. And I think that while it's wonderful to want happiness all the time, we're going to experience human emotion. We're just not taught this, and we're not taught how to regulate them, or like why we even have them and what they're for. They're there to experience the human condition. And we just don't want to dwell in the thoughts that make us feel bad, because from there, we've lost our control. We've lost our power. So this particular person I was talking with, it was very much so an addiction to what was happening in the 3D reality around this person. And so we would just talk a lot about focusing within. And I will say, like, I definitely am not perfect at all of this humaning. I don't think any of us will ever perfect it until we're not here anymore. That's when we're done. With that part, whatever this is, So, I thought about how, I have ups and downs too. My emotions go up and down, but I know how to regulate. I know how to come back to baseline, which baseline for me now is peace and excitement. I love that. And I had to train myself to get there. And it takes a minute, you have to make some decisions. I am queen of buying programs that I love. I love the program and I'm like, yes. And then it sits there and I don't do it. Now that's not normally who I am. I get everything else done. I maintain things very well. Everything's always done. There's never anything undone except for, and this is what I've struggled with for a long time in my life. This is a belief system that if I buy a program or I'm in school or something like that, it's almost the state of preparation instead of execution. And so it's almost like the things that I know that will actually propel me forward in the biggest ways, I've been putting off. I've been like preparing. Well, I got to get this done first, and then I'll get that done. And then I got to get this done, and then I'll get that done. And I'm in a program that's going to help me with YouTube, and it's going to help me with, creating offers and creating my business that I've been wanting to create for probably 10 to 15 years. And I just let life take a hold of me over the years. And I was just surviving. And that's kind of what we do. And so if I would have known all of this as in depth as I do today, I would be in a much different place. But I know that every stepping stone that I stepped on got me here. And so I want you to know you're in the perfect place at the perfect time. And if you come across me, hopefully you learn some things from me over these next, 200 videos I got to do and more. And I just want to provide the most value that I possibly can because I started studying the law of attraction 15 plus years ago, but I didn't fully take it in until a few years ago. And then law of assumption is somewhat new to me. It's maybe 3 or 4 years in for me. So that was a little newer than the law of attraction, but I just find this information invaluable because it helps you learn who you really are. And today we were talking about the self and what the self is and who am I and what am I doing here and all of these things. We delved into those, and through doing some EMDR, this person was basically channeling into the self, and it was very, very interesting, the trajectory from feeling so bad to feeling so good very quickly. And we got this person into feeling peace, which was the goal, very fast. And the point of me giving this story is that this feeling of peace was created from nothing changing outside in the 3D. This was just change within. And I pointed out, I said, now remember, nothing has changed outside of yourself. You created this. This person created this. I didn't do this. I just guided this person. But this person created this piece without anything external changing. And so I said, hold this feeling. Like Esther Hicks says, milk it. When you feel it, milk it. Like milk. Keep that feeling going. And that's whenever we lose our power, is when we let the 3D reality control us when something happens, or this person does this, or this person says this. I have been there. Every day, I probably still experience something like that. And you just bring it back. You bring it back. You bring it back. You say, nope, we got to reel you back in. And let's start working on these internal thoughts that we're having that we're just being controlled by everything. We're being controlled by the past is what it really is. All the past memories and thoughts and beliefs and fears that pop up. Just remember, in the now moment, if you're having those thoughts and fears that pop up, you're being the old self. So remember, the new self, the old self has always been peaceful underneath all the crazy that's been on top of it. Okay? But now we're becoming the self 2.0. And so that self is at peace, in wonder, in curiosity. And this self has transformed and transmuted all of those emotions and all of those events that happened before. And you change your past. Once you change your present moment, you've actually changed your past. That's a whole other video. But remember that what you're conscious of and what you're aware of is what's going to show up, what you're seeing. So you've just got to gently take your awareness off of whatever it's on and place it on what you are desiring, and not let the 3D dictate who you are. And that's a big thing we talked about too, was you want to figure out who you want to be. We've talked about identity a lot on here. Identity is, who are you? Who do you want to be? What habits would the person that you're wanting to become identify with? How would they think? How would they speak? How would they act? What would they let go of that you're doing now that they're not doing? And vice versa. What are they doing that you're not doing? Again, I bring up the me turning into this YouTuber. I was terrified of this. And I've gotten over that because I'm just being myself. And I think that there's something truly special when you're actually being your true self and you're not caring what happens. You're not caring what anyone thinks because you're being you. So if someone doesn't like that and you're being authentic, then they're probably not the person that, should be around you. But when you're being your true self, even when somebody's being a rascal around you and you're just being your true self, there's nothing better than that. You're happy, you're content, you're satisfied with where you're at. You're at peace because you're being you. Most of the time, we're not being us. We have masks on. We're suppressing our emotions. We're doing things because we think we should and we're obligated to. And yes, we're human. We're going to have some obligations. And obviously, we have to go to work and things like that. And you can't just start crying in the middle of serving a customer or something like that. I get it. I've been there and I've done that, and I've suppressed for years, and I can put on a quick smiling face very quickly to a customer. I've done that hundreds of times in the past, and it's just, it becomes kind of a skill set actually to be able to do that. So, but you are where you are right now, and where you are right now is perfect, and you get to decide what your next moment's going to look like, and you get to decide who you're going to be next. What type of person do you want to be? And so I've had to really come to terms with this myself lately, where this program I need to get into, I've been paying for it for 3 months and I haven't done it. And I've just been in prep mode, and I know myself. So I know that when I get to a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And that's where I'm at today. And I'm starting it finally tonight, right after I filmed this video. I was like, I'm going to do the video first, get it done a little earlier in the eve, and then I'm going to do it. And then the other thing I committed to was I work out every single day. I do a 30-minute walk in the morning, and I do either an hour of strength training or an hour of yoga. And I do that 6 days a week. And then I walk 30 minutes on 7 days a week. And I decided that I'm going to do another 30-minute walk in the evening, and just to get up and move and to kind of have just another meditative walk, and just to get, just to move my body really and to connect with myself. So I'm doing these new things, but I had to make space for them. So remember that you might be holding yourself back in some areas, and just really think about what those areas might be. Because again, everything that you're manifesting around you is because of a belief system that you have. And in order to shift the belief systems, we've got to think about, okay, what are our beliefs? What are we believing about ourselves? And I have always had a belief that, I was a lifelong student, which I love being a student, of course, but I'm ready to be that teacher. I'm ready to be that leader. I'm ready to move forward and do the things that I know I'm capable of instead of preparing all the time. I've done enough prep work. Now I'm going to prepare for the things, I'm going to put that energy into creating what I want to create instead of just preparing simply. And so I've had to figure out, what are my blind spots? You might not know what your blind spots are. And so that's something, chat with ChatGPT about that. I do that sometimes. I'm like, what are my blind spots? I'll ask it questions, and it's very helpful. Sometimes it's not that helpful, sometimes it's not, but most of the time it is. And you'll get some ideas about certain things. You can train it, of course, to learn, who you are and everything. And that makes the answers a lot better and a lot more concise and clear. But if you want to gain some clarity about what your next steps are, just take your first step, and know that first step you take, no matter what it looks like. As Bashar says, follow your highest excitement. So do the next thing that feels just a little bit better than where you're at right now. If you want to clean out a drawer and you have no idea why, or just there's no real reason for it, just do it and see what happens. You might come across some memory that you wouldn't have had otherwise. I mean, that happened to me over the weekend. I came up with a really awesome idea that I'm going to execute very, very soon. And I wasn't feeling the best over the weekend. It was crazy. And my mood was down a little bit. And I was like, what is going on? And then I talked myself up. And, we all have these times. And I think that the times when you feel down or angry or frustrated or whatever the case is, it's time. It's almost telling you that it's time to level you up. And it's time for a change. Like I just shifted this room a little bit. I moved my chair a little bit so I'd have a different angle. And I think one kitty is in the shot back there. So it's not that I get bored. I just like change. And I think change is so, so good for people. And sometimes you need a change in order to become the person you're trying to become. Some people are scared to change. And it's like, no. The unknown is just figuring out more of who you are as a person. And so the more you move and do and just be still. You don't have to be doing all the time. Be still more and rest, but also do and have fun. Do it all. Have a great balance for yourself. You're going to find out who you are and who you're trying to be. And think of some things that you want to create for next year. We've got like less than a couple months of the year left. So let's figure out what we want to do and make New Year's Day be like, midnight tonight. It's New Year's Day. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? Act as if you're that person. I thought about this today where, when you're an actor or an actress, if you are one, or if you've ever done anything that involved a script, that person that, let's say Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, they had to become Jack and Rose. They had to literally become them for this movie. And that water was cold. I saw some behind the scenes. That water was cold. And they had to be in that water for like a long time. I feel really bad for them, but hey, they got some money out of it and some fame and all kinds of stuff out of that movie. That was my favorite movie. But that movie was awesome in general because for many reasons, but it showed a lot of love between two people that were complete opposites, but yet the same. And so they really had to kind of learn who these people were. And then they got into the part and they killed it. And so give yourself a script. Figure out who you are. Do scripting. Write down, who do I want to be? What habits do I want to have? Think really outlandishly, like who could you become if you really decided to become a different person? And we become a different person because we don't want to feel the way we've been feeling. That's why I say change to 2.0 instead of 1.0. Because if you're in 1.0, you're thinking the same dang thoughts that you thought yesterday, and the same thoughts you thought before that, and years before that. You're thinking the same thoughts 95% of the time. So we've got to change them. And you'll see huge changes once you change your internal world. You're going to see your outer world take shape. Do not give power to that outer world. Do not do that. Because as soon as you do, you've lost everything. And then you wonder why you're so down. And so we got to get back up again. So the key is to either you can script, you can visualize a scene where it's already done. I mean, I think it'd be fun to spend a whole day just like creating a script and then living as if you're that character. Just look at it like I'm playing a character today. I'm going to act like I'm this person. See how you feel when you start acting that way. When I decided over the weekend, I was like, I've got to start this program. Like it's time. I got to do it. Just like YouTube. I am a very, I don't want to say I'm stubborn, but I know myself and I know when I'm ready and when I'm not. And I know when I've gotten past the point of being ready where I'm like, you just got to do it now, sister. And that's basically what happened on Memorial Day when I started this channel. I was like, you've just got to do it. You just got to go take your phone and hit the record button and just start talking. And that's how I felt about this program I'm about to start. I've just got to start it. And so, but now, did I have plenty of things to be doing? over the last 3 months. Yes, I did. I've had so many life changes this year. It's not even funny. And so many fears popping up and so many things. So much growth has taken place and transformation on top of that, though. But I had to decide. And so I do tell a lot of people, a lot of clients, I'm like, sometimes you just have to decide that you're going to be different. And then you have to just do the actions that align with that. And pretty soon you're that new person. And you're going to see so many big changes internally first. And then the 3D will catch up at some point. Creation is instant. You're just choosing which reality you're living in. You're just selecting it. And you don't have to react or respond to what's going on around you. You just notice it. It's data. It's helping you get to where you're wanting to go. Somehow or another, it's getting you there. Expect the best. Enjoy every moment. These are all very cliche things to say, but you're expecting the worst most of the time. So start expecting the best. Say that the best outcome is going to happen from this. Everything happens for me. Everything happens through me. So I get to make a lot of great decisions and see what happens from those decisions. Everything that's happening around me is for my benefit. So if that's true, then what would this benefit me for? Like, what would be the benefit of this? And lately, I've noticed that my views have gone down and my subs have gone down just a little bit. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And at first I was like, wow, I was very curious. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to not caring about any of that right now. I'm just going to put my message out there. I'm going to put my heart out there. And whoever's meant to see it will see it. Whoever's meant to hear it will hear it. And the message is out there, and I've shown up for myself today. So remember to show up for yourself every single day. Learn yourself. Master yourself. Once you master yourself, or at least get a little bit of mastery over yourself, you're going to notice huge changes around you. No matter what's going on, you're going to be able to go inside your mind. Your imagination is a place you can go to. Just go inside your imagination. The 3D is a place and your imagination is a place. Which one do you want to live in? Well, the imagination might be more fun for a little while until the 3D catches up. And then that'll be fun too. But you can describe it all as fun if you want to. It's all in how you look at things. When you look at things differently, they change. You just have to decide what glasses you're going to put on today. You're going to put on your old self glasses or your new self glasses. You get to decide. I will stop this rant and ramble. I know I've gone over what I said I was going to go over. So I will let you go and get back to your life. You guys enjoy every moment. Remember, you are loved. Pass that on to somebody else. And remember, what you appreciate appreciates. So appreciate yourself. And I'll see you later. Bye.